Let's begin with Area 1, Supporting Social-Emotional Development. This section highlights the essential skills infant-toddler educators need to foster healthy social and emotional growth in young children. Welcome to our presentation on supporting social-emotional learning and development in the first 1,000 days. This session is led by Dr. Meena Chintapalli, a seasoned pediatrician and expert in early childhood neuroscience and development. She brings decades of experience, including founding the Society for Assistance International and leading pioneering educational initiatives focused on attachment and positive relationships in early childhood. Let's take a moment to reflect on your daily interactions with children by asking yourself 3 key questions about your interests, skills, and what you look forward to. We focus on 2 main social-emotional learning areas. First, building warm relationships by understanding infants' learning capacities, applying nurturing strategies, and embracing diversity and special needs. Second, responsive caregiving, recognizing children's needs for consistent care, understanding adult behaviors, and expanding skills to provide responsive care for all children, including those with special needs. This slide outlines the key sections and core concepts of our course. We begin with the critical role of interactions and the course structure. Next, we focus on children, emphasizing early development and the interconnected developmental areas. Then, we highlight the importance of educators in supporting brain development and teaching beliefs. Finally, we consider diversity, inclusion, and support for vulnerable and multilingual children. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Today, we'll explore how to build warm, positive, and nurturing relationships, focusing on supporting social and emotional development in infants and toddlers. This slide highlights the importance of social-emotional learning, or SEL, as the foundation for all learning and positive development in newborns. It emphasizes well-developed emotional brains at birth and breaks SEL down into critical subareas like building nurturing relationships and providing consistent caregiving. These elements build lifelong self-confidence and foster teamwork, unity, and community-focused values that contribute to preventing violence and promoting social harmony. Let's begin by reflecting on where you're eager to explore and learn, which skills you'd like to develop, and what you're most excited about moving forward. Then, consider your recent conversations. What made you feel truly heard? What cues did you pick up from the other person to understand their openness in sharing? Finally, think about the flow of your dialogue, how you and the other person took turns, even in small gestures like nodding. This slide outlines key strategies for building warm, positive, and nurturing relationships with children. It emphasizes showing affection through smiles and empathy, engaging in nonverbal affirmations while respecting cultural differences, and using gentle touch to communicate support. It also highlights the importance of using children's names, giving positive feedback, maintaining appropriate proximity and eye contact, participating in children's activities, and matching enthusiasm to each child's mood. Finally, it stresses supporting children's independence while being ready to assist when needed. At the core of excellent infant and toddler care is the strong bond between the primary caregiver and the child. This relationship is vital for delivering high-quality education and support during these early years. Social-emotional development involves how children experience, express, and manage their emotions. It also includes their ability to form positive, rewarding relationships and their understanding of themselves and others. These strong, positive connections help children build trust, empathy, compassion, and a clear sense of right and wrong. During the first year, babies form secure attachments by learning who they are based on how they are treated. Key milestones include reading and responding to adult cues, using simple gestures, forming close bonds with particular adults, expressing distress when separated from primary caregivers, and influencing those around them. Between 12 and 24 months, children reach important social and emotional milestones. They engage in back-and-forth interactions, start taking turns, and become more independent. They recognize themselves in mirrors or pictures and begin to cooperate by helping with simple tasks. At this stage, toddlers respond to simple commands and may show a wide range of emotions, including frustration if things don't go their way. They imitate adult behaviors, initiate interactive play, and communicate through gestures, sounds, or words. Between the ages of 2 and 3, children start to see themselves as separate individuals and become aware of gender differences. They handle separations better in familiar settings, but still need help with new situations. This stage brings strong attachments to loved ones, along with frustration and tantrums. Kids begin to enjoy a wider social circle, follow simple rules, and play both simple and cooperative games. They also start communicating about their feelings and ideas and become more independent in completing tasks. Sharing materials with others is another key milestone. Let's take a moment to watch a brief video that will illustrate the key concepts we've been discussing. This slide highlights how relationships form the foundation for infant development. The interaction between caregivers and children, like a dance, involves rhythms of need and response that support key areas such as emotional, physical, cognitive, and language growth. Let's begin by focusing our attention on children and the critical early connections that shape their lives. This slide reminds us that the joy of movement and connection starts from the very beginning. Whether a newborn or a toddler, children naturally engage through physical interaction with the people who care for them. Let's start with a brief video to set the stage for our discussion. Let's focus on engaging our senses in this activity. It's all about using what we see, hear, touch, and feel to explore and learn. This hands-on approach helps deepen understanding and connection. Welcome to our presentation. Let's dive in and explore the key insights we have prepared for you today. Children naturally use the abilities they already have to form connections with the people around them. It's a fundamental part of their growth and learning process. As we move forward, consider using simple memory nudges to stay aware of children's cues, especially during busy parts of the day. These gentle reminders can help you stay connected and responsive. Let's shift our attention to educators, exploring their vital role and how we can better support their efforts in fostering early development. In this activity, you'll reflect on and discuss the critical competencies SE1 skill statements. We'll explore how these skills support building warm, positive, and nurturing relationships with infants and toddlers. This slide outlines key practices for responding to children's needs effectively. It emphasizes staying aware of their needs, observing their cues, and waiting for their responses before acting. It also highlights the importance of recognizing signs of fatigue or overstimulation, respecting a child's attempt to disengage, and tailoring support to each child's unique preferences. This slide highlights the importance of relationships in infant-toddler programs. It uses dance as a metaphor for adult-child interactions, emphasizing that children eagerly engage as partners. Infants rely on their sensory abilities to connect, and educators need to be attuned to the cues children give in order to effectively respond and support those connections. This slide highlights key points about engaging educators. Children are naturally equipped to learn through implicit means and rely on interactions to form mental models. Educator behavior should encourage positive engagement. Synchrony, or being in tune with the child, plays a vital role, as does understanding the child's temperament to align effectively. Lastly, the quality, frequency, and personalized nature of these interactions are crucial for meaningful learning experiences. This slide highlights important factors in building relationships with children and their families. We recognize the vital role of nonverbal communication, especially with children learning multiple languages. It also addresses how disabilities, prematurity, or chemical dependence can affect relationship building. Consistency in the parent-child relationship is crucial for a child's ability to connect with educators. Lastly, Maintaining a positive attitude toward parents and respecting family culture supports stronger connections. This slide emphasizes the importance of expressing warmth and affection toward children through smiling, laughing, and showing empathy, especially when they are upset. Nonverbal cues are key to building trust and emotional connections with infants and toddlers. By responding sensitively to a child's feelings, we create positive, supportive relationships. This slide highlights the importance of using nonverbal positive affirmations with children. Simple gestures like nodding or changing your tone can build trust and strengthen relationships. It's also vital to respect cultural differences in how warmth and encouragement are expressed. This slide highlights the importance of using gentle, nurturing touch to provide emotional support to infants and toddlers. Caregivers are encouraged to use caring physical contact, including skin-to-skin touch, to help babies feel secure and supported. Using children's names when communicating helps make messages personal and meaningful. This approach helps young children feel respected and affirmed, which strengthens their sense of connection. This activity focuses on making positive comments about children and their activities. Recognizing children's identity and value by crediting their actions helps build their sense of worth and accomplishment. This slide highlights the importance of sitting close to children based on their age. Younger children rely on adults as anchors while exploring, and close proximity from caregivers signals interest, availability, and support. This strengthens the nurturing relationship and helps children feel secure as they grow and explore more independently. This slide highlights the importance of making eye contact with children when culturally appropriate and engaging with them at their eye level. Eye contact across many cultures symbolizes respect and acknowledgement, and young children naturally use it to capture attention, like when babies pull your face to connect during feeding. This slide highlights the importance of caregivers showing interest in a child's play. By joining in or commenting appropriately, caregivers communicate that the child's actions are valuable. This shared experience not only validates the child but also deepens the bond between caregiver and child. This slide highlights the importance of matching your tone of voice, facial expressions, and enthusiasm to each child. When teachers respond to a child's emotional state, it validates their feelings and shows empathy. This slide highlights the importance of supporting a child's independence by encouraging self-initiated exploration. Adults nurture this by being present and ready to assist when the child signals a need, fostering both confidence and autonomy. From birth, children are active observers, constantly learning from their environment. Each interaction with their primary caregiver, whether through eye contact, conversation, or shared activity, shapes their understanding of themselves and the world around them. Let's reflect on the best times to connect with infants, considering their sleep patterns in the first year. We'll explore daily moments ideal for fostering warm relationships and how caregivers can be more intentional during these periods. We'll also discuss times when connecting is tougher, and finally, consider strategies to include children with special needs to ensure they fully benefit from these interactions. Let's explore two different approaches to interacting with children by looking at Jasmine and Amira. Jasmine is cautious and highly aware of her environment. She notices every detail and is sensitive to others' emotions and movements, but can become easily overwhelmed by noise or sudden changes. In contrast, Amira bursts into the room energetically, tends to miss subtle details unless pointed out, and craves lots of sensory stimulation. She actively seeks out movement and sounds to keep herself engaged. Let's reflect on how children's temperaments shape their social interactions, both generally and with us personally. Consider how your own temperament influences syncing with children who are similar or different from you. Finally, think about how you might adjust your approach to better connect with each child's unique style. This slide highlights the importance of educators being observant and intentional in how they create warm, positive, and nurturing connections with young children. By focusing on the quality, frequency, and individual needs in these interactions, educators help build a strong foundation for healthy development. Consider ways to build these warm relationships and identify positive educator behaviors that support this goal. Now, let's focus on how to put these concepts into daily practice. This activity encourages applying what you've learned in real-life settings to make a meaningful impact every day. Let's take a moment to reflect on how to use the skills and strategies we've discussed to foster positive relationships. Think about which strategies resonate with you, how your temperament influences your care, and ways to overcome personal challenges. Consider syncing with a child's different temperament and identify changes or strategies you can adopt for your own growth. In this example, Sabina supports Julieta, a 4-month-old infant, during playtime by staying close and offering comfort when loud noises occur. She calmly explains the situation and provides physical reassurance, helping Julieta feel secure and understand her environment. This slide introduces the concept of self-regulation in young children. It highlights how children express and manage their emotions, often requiring support from caregivers to navigate their feelings and behaviors effectively. Let's now turn our attention to some additional considerations that are important to keep in mind as we move forward. When considering developmental factors, it's important to take into account home language, any disabilities or developmental delays, and conditions like prematurity or chemical dependence that might affect a child's progress. This slide reminds us that a child's behavior can stem from many different causes. It's important to approach understanding behavior with caution, humility, and curiosity, rather than assuming we know the reasons for it. Let's reflect for a moment. Think about one statement you found insightful regarding young children from high-need populations. Next, consider a key responsibility or strategy for educators that resonates with you or that you want to apply in your practice. Finally, if a particular child came to mind while reading, identify one way you can better support them and what kind of support you might need to do that effectively. Missteps are a natural part of even the happiest, healthiest mother-child relationships. Research shows mismatches in mood or expectations occur frequently, about 70% of the time. These are normal and expected. Let's take a moment to wrap up our discussion and highlight the key takeaways from today's session. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned and consider the next steps for moving forward effectively. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions or need further information, please reach out to the 023 Professional Development and Workforce Innovations Department. We're here to support you.